AVR, today's best country.
Joining me in studio today is John Campbell. He's the head of Annapolis Valley Health, the mental health and addiction services. Now, to start off, I want to know how prevalent is mental illness in our community?
Well, Jerry, I think that if you asked any of your friends or colleagues, I think they would tell you that every one of them has been affected in some way, either through a coworker, a family member, by mental illness. In fact, the prevalence of mental illness in Canada is that at any one time, 10% of the population is exhibiting a mental illness. And during the course of one's lifetime, that rises to over 20%.
That's quite a high percentage. That's 1 in 5 people.
That's right.
Most families have been touched by mental illness in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, and I think that you could confirm that just by talking to your coworkers or other family members.
Now, there are lots of stereotypes of mental illness, and they're way out of whack.
I think when some people think of mental illness, they think of individuals that have a severe and persistent mental illness. That is approximately 2% of the population, and we generally think of individuals that have an illness that we call schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, approximately 1% of the population for each of those diagnoses. They are very debilitating illnesses that impact all aspects of their life. However, there are treatments available through medication and through what we call psychosocial rehabilitation and community support that individuals, even with these illnesses, are able to function effectively in society with the appropriate treatment.
The numbers that we were talking about earlier about workplace mental illness, there's no other word to say it except staggering. These figures you have, John, are just incredible.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised to know that the percentage of short-term disability claims related to mental illness in Canada runs about 75%.
Wow.
And those with long-term disability claims is approximately 79%. So that is staggering.
With the stigma and the stereotypes of mental illness, it's just incredible, those numbers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you guys help out at the mental health and addiction services as well, with lots of different programs.
We have a range of programs across the lifespan for individuals from anywhere from 5 years old to 75 to 90 years old, because everybody at every age experiences a mental illness.
Now, this as well, all private and confidential all the time, 100%.
Oh, yeah, very much. Confidentiality is a signature value within the mental health services, in part to protect individuals in terms of their own autonomy and right to privacy, but also there is and continues to exist a stigma of mental illness. Individuals still view, although it is changing, but view mental illness is something that is wrong with them that they have control over, when in fact mental illness is just like any other illness. It's something that can be biologically based. It can be precipitated by external factors in combination with one's ability to manage those factors. It exhibits itself in many kinds of both psychological and physical symptoms. It does exist, and services are available to effectively deal with those symptoms.
This is great, you opening up the window and lifting the stigma here on the AVR Morning Show with this. Do you have a website where people can get more information on this, John?
If you go to Annapolis Valley Health and then scroll down to programs, you'll find mental health services and addiction services. And if you just tag those, you'll find the range of services that are available. We are in the process of revamping our website, though, to make it more user-friendly, because access to services is such an important issue. It's important that people know what services are available, how to access those services, and oftentimes the public isn't necessarily aware of what services are available, and access is a concern. It's a concern because some people think that they have to be referred by a family physician, and we do accept self-referrals. And some people think that they have to have a severe illness that's debilitating, when in fact people exhibit a range of mental health problems. So we are in the process of trying to increase accessibility by educating the public about what services are available, and I want to thank you today for being able to be on the show to talk about those services.
Well, you know what? We've just barely scratched the surface. We haven't even talked about how mental illness affects a family. Will you come back and do this again?
Be happy to do that.
So you can join John for the second part of our series on mental health. That's John Campbell, the head of Annapolis Valley Health, Mental Health and Addiction Services.
AVR, today's best country.